Hello friends, welcome to my new data structures and algorithm in Java tutorial series video. Friends, in this tutorial we will discuss how to create a singly linked list in Java. So friends, here you can see a simple singly linked list. In our previous tutorial we discussed what is a singly linked list. We discussed a singly linked list is a data structure which actually stores collection of data. It contains sequence of nodes. So here you can see that there are 4 nodes having data as 10, 1, 8, 11, and you can also see the first node is being referred by the head. So this head node actually holds complete linked list, and it is also the first node of the singly linked list. And you can also see the last node whose next always points to null because it signifies that it is the end of the list. We also discussed that node is having two properties. One is the data property and one is the reference to the next node in the list. So friends, let's see a demo to how to create this singly linked list having the data as 10, 1, 8 and 11. So friends, here is the code which can add few nodes in the singly linked list. We will also discuss the other ways to insert the nodes into the singly linked list. So let's see the demo of the code step by step. So friends, when we initialize a singly linked list, it contains an instance variable head which is of type list node, and when we initialize the singly linked list, usually head points to null because at the initialization of the singly linked list there are no elements into the list. So at first head points to null. Moving ahead, now in this step what we do is we first create a new list node and we pass the data into it. So here we are creating a new list node and we are passing the data as 10. So it would look something like this. Here you can see the data is 10, and whenever we create a new list node it next points to null. And also here you can see when we are creating this new list node we are assigning its value to the head. So currently head points to null, and after this assignment it would look something like this. So now head will point to this first node which is having data as 10 and its next is pointing to null. Moving ahead, and in this step we are again creating a new list node and we are assigning its value to the list node by name second. So it would look something like this. That second is pointing to a list node having data as and whose next is pointing to null. Moving ahead, now here similarly we are creating third list node having data as 8 and we are naming the variable as third. So it would look something like this. The third is pointing to a node having data as 8 and whose next is pointing to null. Moving ahead, and now we are creating a list node having data as 11 and we are assigning its value to a list node by name fourth. So here you can see the list node fourth is having data as 11 and whose next is pointing to null. So this is how a list node is created. We create a list node by passing into data and whose next always points to null. So friends, in order to create a singly linked list, what we do is like we connect all these 4 nodes together and form a chain. So this chain is built something like this. We connect first node to second, second to third, third to fourth, like that. So in order to achieve this, what we do is here we know that head points to a node having data as 10 and whose next is pointing to null. So in order to connect these two nodes, what we do is we assign the value of second to head's next. So here you can see second is pointing to node having data as 1 and head next is pointing to null. So if we assign the value of second to head's next, so instead of pointing to null, now it will point to second node because second is pointing to this node. Moving ahead, and now in this step what we do is we assign the value of third to second's next. So here second's next is pointing to null and third is pointing to a node having data as 8. So whatever value is in the third we assign it to second's next. So it would look something like this. Moving ahead, And in the final step, what we do is we assign the value of fourth to thirds next. So this fourth list node is pointing to a node having data as 11 and whose next is pointing to null. So we simply assign the value of fourth to thirds next. So it would look something like this. So now finally the third node is pointing to a node 4. So friends, when method ends, all these three nodes goes away, and as head is the instance variable of the singly linked list, it is holding this complete list together. So friends, let's go to Eclipse and see the working code.